Hi Stampin' friends. Tonight we're going to be using the Time of Giving bundle. I apologize for my voice. I've got a little bit of allergies going on, a little bit of bronchitis, so I apologize. So this is a great little bundle. It has some fun words, Christmas cheer throughout the year, season's greetings, and then thankful, merry, and boo. The boo, it does have some pumpkins with it, but I didn't really find that one to be especially useful with this particular stamp. It has these little guys that go with it. It has some leaves and some cutouts of leaves, things like that, that you can use to kind of just decorate and also to put on tags. So I wanted to just kind of show you some different ideas that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. So here are some of the leaves that I've punched with this. They are gorgeous. I was kind of surprised that they were as nice as they are. They are like completely cut, so you can kind of, bend them over something. This would be great for embellishing on gifts and little boxes and packages. And then it also has this little guy that's like a little sprig of holly, which I thought was really pretty. So you'll probably see me add these into some things after I finish. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm just going to set these over to the side so I have them when I need them. So a couple of different things that I wanted to try tonight was just to kind of show you some general uses for these. So the first thing I did was just kind of cut these out to kind of see. I think that the easiest way to use these is as tags, with your one of your dies that cuts out tags, or with a tag punch. These guys we have here. Hold on. That punch out tags at the top, and then you would just put your little tag on the top of one and make it a layer, and then add your to from on the back or something. I think that would make a great embellishment for some sort of gift that you might be giving, or you tie it on the top or something like that, or like on a bag or something like that. So this is it cut in Cajun Craze. You could cut it in colors and then use your sponge daubers to color these as well. That would be another pretty look. So I'll probably have to try that at some point. Okay, so I also wanted to show you here the Santa and Sleigh, and I did this in gold. I may have gotten it a little bit off here. I couldn't tell if I've got it straight or if it's just curling on me. But you can see here that the gold really shines. What I wanted to do with this one was I wanted to use my Stampin', the blending brushes, and my regular ink, and just kind of add a little bit of color and leaving the bottom with like a look of snow, but maybe add color up at the top. One thing about this as well, you could cut these off and just use the image at the bottom. You wouldn't necessarily have to leave it as a box, because what it does is cut the holes basically. So I had to cut around this to the size that I wanted. So just something to think about on that. Different ways that you can use it. You could just, let's see, I need to probably tuck this in there like that and give you the idea of what I'm talking about. You don't have to have the top or the bottom or the sides. But I just thought it was kind of a cute way to use it. So let's see if we like how that looks. Give this a spin here and get the colors that I need. There we go. Some Pacific Point and some gorgeous grape, because I was just kind of going for a night sky sort of look. So started on this. I'll try to remember to do this off the page so that I do not cause any blobs on there. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of did all right. Because if I blob it down on the page, I'll end up a lot of times with, well, like what I just did there, with a spot that is way darker than I would want it to be. So if you blob it off the page and then drag, that often makes it neater looking. There we are. Just adding more darkness there. Just a little more. And then I'm going to add some Pacific Point. Get my blue here. True blue brush. I'm going to add a little more purple. This is something you could probably play with and go back and forth with for a long time until you got it just like you wanted or just what you had in mind. Go. We are. All right. I feel like I've done enough with that. So then you can see here that what I was trying to go for here was just creating a little background sky and making it look like snow behind the sleigh and then the sky behind. Now, the reason I had this idea was because I was very surprised that it had a moon and some teeny stars, the smallest stars I've ever seen from Stampin' Up. So I thought that could be really cute. I probably should have done these in the gold as well, but I thought that would be so cute to add to this one. I'll have to not do the thing at the end where I put things together because I'll probably, pick them up and put them back down because I'll probably lose these little guys. They're so tiny. But point being, I thought this would be really cute. Layered on here, which I don't know that it looks specific point anymore. It was at one point. And then you could either cut it off or not. I just thought this edging looked kind of cute to have on there. And then to layer it on a card. And then probably add, what would look really pretty here is on a Pacific Point, a gold embossed, maybe, I don't know if the one that goes with this, I don't know if I would necessarily Christmas cheer through the year because that's kind of tiny as far as being able to see. Mary probably would be one that would look great along the bottom and then cut out with some kind of scalloped background just to kind of bring this together. So anyway, that's my idea for this one. I think it's kind of striking. And of course, you wouldn't have to make a card with this. You could make gift tags or anything else, the more conventional ideas. But I just really liked how this white really seems to pop off of the page against the gold. So anyway, just an idea. You could also move it up this way and have your extra white down here and write your to from down there if you'd like. So just another idea of what you could do with that. Okay, then the next thing I wanted to show you is one of the other shapes. And it is, I did it in gold as well because I got kind of excited by this. I thought it looked really pretty. This is some little, let me see if I can get them where you can see them. Some little ornaments. Now, I'm kind of extra, so probably what I would want to do on this is have a background, but then cut each one out by hand with different colors. And so that I could have a variety behind here. And then they would really pop, I think, if there was, if you had cut. I guess I could do it real quick and see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Just cut these out in approximately the shape of the ornament. I'll just do this crazy and then I'll use the there to get it right. And just hold it up like this is what I was doing. And then try to get that. Okay, that may not have worked out quite right. I think you're getting the idea. Anyway, what I'm trying to show is that you just cut behind these and make little cute little guys to go here. And then same thing, I think that it would look really pretty to have gold embossing on here and maybe even use some of your sponge daubers and whatever and add color to these leaves or just do this on the green. I think that would really pop nicely. Say I'd use this embossing folder down the center and then add this with the green. Sorry, this seems kind of like just a brainstorming session, but I hope that you'll get some ideas anyway though, because there were too many, I couldn't hold myself back. And then when I saw I wasn't able to get on Facebook, I had a freak out moment. So it's kind of one of those things I do. All right, so let's see. I did have a couple more things I wanted to show you. Oh, I did want to do this as well. I got distracted and put this here. That if you had this as your focal point, and then you just added a sentiment at the bottom, I just think it would be gorgeous to add all these different colors of leaves around and just kind of wherever here. I mean, there are so many different colors and like every shape you can imagine. And so it almost to make like a little focal point, using all these millions of leaves. I just think I kind of tend to enjoy doing these leaves. And so I think it really adds when you just have lots of texture with them. So I'm gonna see what I was talking about there. Now, of course, you could do them in a round circle. That would be gorgeous as well. It would be really easy to do with these. But I kind of did that last year. So I kind of wanted to show you something a little bit different and show it a directional type thing with just like using the square as kind of your edging and just kind of following along it. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll see when I get it put together. We'll see if you like it. You can check it out on my blog. Okay, so here are the other piece that's cut out easily with this, which is snowflakes. And so I thought this could be really pretty if we put it on. Now, you don't have to go to a lot of trouble. It's gorgeous if you just layer it on here and add a sentiment in the middle. I was thinking that could be really pretty. But you could also add some color behind this, and that would make a really nice look, I think. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things with that. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is add my Christmas cheer throughout the year. So I'll probably ruin the whole thing. I brought this over so I could show you how I did this. Now, Stampin' Up! Has one in the book, and they did theirs just straight down the side, and then they cut off the excess that you would say is on the side. And which would be really cute because you could put your sentiment at the top of layering it on. I don't know if I'm even making sense, sorry. But you could, if you had them all here, you could put your sentiment here along this side. And they had them all even. You know, they did 3 across, which would be cute as well. So does that make sense what they had done? So you'll just need to use like a long Post-it like this to hold these down and keep them exactly where you want them. And what I did was just did one on this side and one on this side, trying to keep them about the same distance from the edges. So that was my plan for this, just like little cutouts. So let me get this guy put on a block. I think I want a bigger block. Oh, and I don't have one, so I'll use this one. Okay, put my Christmas cheer through the year, or throughout the year. I'm gonna grab my pool party. You can always, one thing to consider when you do this, like what I've just done here, it would be fine to use a coastal cabana or Bermuda Bay, and it might show up a little nicer on your card. It's kind of one of those decisions that you gotta make. I'm gonna stamp it over here on the side, check and see if I think it's dark enough, and I don't think it's dark enough, so I am going to use the Coastal Cabana. And it may just need to be re-inked, but then again, it may be, that's just not quite dark enough for this, for what I want. When they're tiny, my point, when they're tiny, I think they're a little bit harder to see and detect the difference between the light color and white. So to me, it's easier to be able to see, you know, what you're doing. Oh yes, it comes also, I don't think I mentioned, it has a snowflake with it. So they're a little separate snowflake, this little guy. So you can see it would be perfect to just add up here next to the sentiment color, like do it maybe even in, you could do it in white, but you could also do it in Pool Party or Coastal Cabana. And that would add extra, you know, put maybe 3 on there, put some of your frosty blue gems on there. Look how gorgeous that would be if you put a couple of those on there. That would really make that pop with I think the lighter ones myself, but just my opinion. Okay, so now I'm ready to give this a try. We'll see, hopefully I can get it fairly straight on here. But if I don't, it's always something I can redo tomorrow. Oh, it's not that bad. So now you may not like the way this looks with it being kind of, this one scooted that way and this one scooted that way. So I won't be offended at all if that offends you and you don't think that's a cute look. But anyway, so now you can see how I had this imagined. But the other thing I wanted to try was what if I put some of the fresh Freesia on the back of here and layered it and had purple behind. So I just thought I would try that real quick with the fresh Freesia. And let's see here. One of my purples. So what I'm going to do is just start off the page to try not to make a mess. And then just go back and forth. Oh, got some on my finger. Got to watch about that. But the good thing about it is that I will have most of that covered up. So let's see if that makes sense. See, it's just going to show through kind of like that. So some of the mistakes I've made won't really show. So now you could do this in another color. You could add a light true blue maybe at the bottom. But I'm going to go ahead and do both of them with the Freesia. Just to give you lots of ideas with this stamp set. What my problem is now, I'm having trouble getting it in. There we go. And I'll speed this up whenever I back to it. Then I decided I wanted some more here and I made a mess, of course. All right. We'll pretend we don't see that. And I'll just use a couple of small dimensionals and I'll be able to like fix that later. That's one thing that you can do if you're ever want to try something, you don't want to definitely commit to it. Just use a couple of tiny dimensionals and you can totally fix that later. Change it to, you know, whatever you think you'd like. So something to think about. If I can get it to stick. There we are. I'll close these guys up for a second. Okay. And now I made these exactly the same size. I probably should have made it slightly smaller, the under piece, because it may kind of stick out. Yeah, I think I should have made it just a little bit smaller. So I can still do that. I'll just grab my little cutter here. Get a little bit shorter on this end. Guy off, didn't I? There we are. And make it just a little bit narrower on this side. All right. Throw those guys away. Oh, I scooted him over too far. There we go. Okay, there you can see that makes it a lot easier to get it evenly lined up. So you can see that, and then I'll just put it on my pool party layer, my pool party base. There you can see. And I think this is really striking, and that it really kind of adds a lot to your possibilities with this stamp set. Because, yeah, we can all punch out, like with this, you know, punch out like with these guys and, you know, make a little thing. Let me show you what I mean by that. Make a tag. But do we have to make a tag? We don't have to make a tag. We can make cards too. So let me kind of get this. If I decide that's large enough, it should be. Slide the guy into my tag punch, topper punch. We go. And then I'll want to just either add my to from down here or just cut it off. So you can see that all of these can be used with a tag punch top. And then with this one, I would probably add this ribbon. It's the Pool Party striped ribbon. I think it is really nice and crisp for Christmas. It would look gorgeous with this card as well, but I kind of think I want to put a ribbon, a bow. So I'm going to use the Pool Party that's kind of organza ribbon. These are all, that one is from the annual catalog. This is in the holiday, I think. And I could be wrong. I may be telling you fibs. But I think that would be really pretty to add. There we go. So there, I think you can see how that one's going to turn out. Super nice. And then I was saying that I like to use thinner ribbons when I want to, this is really pretty organza, and I think it makes a nice ribbon, nice bow. So in order to finish this, just kind of have to work with it. Just kind of pull it back and forth until you get it like you want it. There we go. So then I think that looks really pretty to just kind of pet that. It could, you know, certainly on the top or the bottom of where I put the sentiment. You could add some little strips of Pool Party or the fresh Freesia to kind of highlight the sentiment. And then I'll just get out these guys and add a few centers to my, to my snowflakes. And if that's too much, you can always use our favorite Wink of Stella and go over each one of the snowflakes. And that would make it really pretty as well if you think that this is kind of too much, if you think I've gone too far with these guys. So, oh, that must not have any sticky on it because that did not, oh, no, there's the sticky. Sometimes that happens. To be careful that you have your sticky stuff. Sometimes the glue dot does not stay connected. Here we go. This guy's up here. And there we are. So there you can see this little card. I think it makes a nice, bright, and pretty example to use for Christmas, and keeps it from just being a stamp set that you can only use for tags. I think it is useful for lots of different things. Like I said, doing tags and then doing decorations to put on different other items. So I appreciate you all watching. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.